everyone. It's Tracy from salontraining.com. I'm excited to have my friend Blair here from Freestyle Systems. If you don't know what that is, we're going to talk a lot about it today because if you don't have it, you really should. And then we're going to tell you why, because it is the most fascinating, amazing thing to have in your salon for lots of reasons. So, all right. So who do we have here today, Blair? What is the name of your company and how did you start in this industry? Let's start there.
All right. The name of the company is Freestyle Systems. My name is Blair Hopper. Back, it's like 20 years ago, I had a friend of mine who was a hairstylist, and she was getting carpal tunnel from holding the weight of the hairdryer. And so my background's all engineering and construction. And the first thing I thought of was like a cord rewind, that sort of thing. I told her, I can make your hairdryer feel weightless. And she said, oh, really? Yeah. So I went ahead and I made a prototype, which is very rudimentary. And I installed it in her salon. And within 3 days, her symptoms of the carpal tunnel went away.
Wow.
And so then I kind of pulled together a team of people and we did some research and we found that 47% of all hairstylists end up having some sort of arm or shoulder pain related to the weight of the hairdryer, because hairdryers weigh about 1.5 pounds. So extended period, I mean, you guys all know, using a hairdryer for extended periods of time can be pretty tiring on the body. So then what I did is we approached Robert Cromines in a Premier Orlando show and set up a room. He actually provided the room, and I have a demo of the unit. And so we talked about it, and he went over to the unit, and I had it all covered up. And he pulled the hair. I told him, pull the hairdryer down, right? Because before he did anything, he loved it because his background is his parents or mother or father was somebody with a dentist in his family. And he thought that the tools should always come from the ceiling. And he always wanted that. And
did you know him, Blair, before you approached him? Just curious.
no, I didn't know him at all. As a matter of fact, it was kind of weird because, what had happened is at a New York show, I had some of my team down there and they set up the meeting with them. They said, we got something new. We can't tell you what it is. And, but we really want to show you. So that's how it all started. And I hadn't even finished my prototype when they set this up. So I was yelling at them like, you guys are crazy. I'm not even ready. But anyways, make a long story short, is I was able to use SLA parts, computer generated parts to make the device. And it got it down to the show. So we had it all set up. And so Robert, when I pulled off the thing, Robert looked at it and he just loved it. And then I had him pull the dryer down and it felt weightless in his hand. So he was like totally blown away. And that's how it all started. But the funny part is I'm like an engineer and he's an artist. And when he came into the room and I met him for the first time that day, he was like wearing like a see-through shirt and his big hat and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't know. I'm not used to somebody, dealing with somebody like this. So after I sat down at the conference table and started talking, I realized, man, this guy's really bright. He's not like the persona he shows. He's like a really smart guy. And so I was totally blown away with him. And so then what we did is he told me he's opening a salon in San Diego and right opposite the convention center, and he wanted to do them there. And so I had a lot of pushback from people that worked around him because it was a totally new thing. And so I like was sitting down in Robert's office in San Diego and saying to him, well, what if your stylists don't like them? He said, well, there's the door. In other words, that's how committed he was to doing this. And so we got there was a delay in the construction and the delay in my stuff and blah, 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 but everything tied together perfectly in the end. And we had the grand opening in San Diego. There was 26 freestylists in the salon. And so the very first day that the salon was open, I was really nervous because, like this is a brand new technology and everything. And so I'm like walking around and seeing how people are using it. And I was talking to different people, and some of them loved it like right off the bat, like Stephanie. She was holding the dryer with two fingers and she like got it right off the bat. Others in that salon didn't. They were like, I don't want to mention the name, but she was like really kind of like scowling at me as I'm walking by, and she said, "They're making me use it to her client." She's sitting in the table, and I'm like, it was like 10 feet away, but I could hear her saying it, and so I was like all flustered, and like holy shit, because this is a big investment and a big change for everybody there, and fortunately, after like 2 or 3 weeks, everybody started to get used to it and they loved it. And after that, we did is Robert was opening a salon in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, and he said he wanted to do it there. And so that was the second installation that we did, and that's how it all started. And for ever since then, it's grown. It's pretty much worldwide. I just got inquiry from Germany and Brazil and Italy today, people looking at it.
So for those of you watching that don't know exactly what we're talking about, they're freestyle systems, and they're blow dryers that actually hang from the ceiling, and you pull them down and they'll turn on. And for the first couple salons that I had, it wasn't in the budget. I was, 20 some years old. And I remember going to a hair show and seeing them on the floor. And I'm like, boy, does this look cool? And I was like, I don't know if I'd get used to it. I don't know if I'd like it. They look cool. And then I went to a Robert's salon, just a shadow for the day. And I loved watching them. I was like, gosh, this looks professional. That and the saddle chairs and everything. I was like, all right, I am going to get this at some point in my career. And then when I built my last salon, I said, I am not getting those. And I said, it was the best investment out of hands down from any product that I've ever purchased in my salon, any tool, because the same thing that you just said, I wasn't sure if my team was going to like them or not. And sure enough, at first someone's like, nope, I can't do this. Can I just use my regular one? No, you're going to try this. And it literally took a day. A day after doing it, they're like, oh, I'm hooked. And every single one of my stylists through the years had said the same thing. They're like, oh, I don't want to go without it either, because it helps your shoulders, it helps your wrists, it helps everything. And it's just for clients, I think it looks so cool too. You walk into your salon, it looks professional, it looks classy, it looks interesting, it looks different. And you made a tremendous impact in our career and on our bodies. So I commend you and thank you so much for what you built. I love them so much. I actually just had one of mine put in my basement for my own station, because I was like, I hate this. I was plugging it in again, and I'm doing my hair and I'm like, oh, this sucks. I want my dryer. My husband's like, you're not putting it in the basement. I said, yeah, I need this back. You don't understand. Like for you, you're a guy. If you needed a special razor and someone took it from you, it's very sad. So I have it in my own house. I love it that much. So thank you so much for building it.
Sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's been fun. I'll tell you one thing that happened. I was we did the Beguine Salon in South Beach on Lincoln. It's on the end of Lincoln Road, and we built these light platforms that kind of came down, and they were like really cool looking. And when I was outside talking to somebody on the cell phone, and within a course of 5 minutes, I had three different couples stop and looking in the window, pointing at the dryers. And the owner of the or the manager of the salon told me that their walk-in traffic doubled after we did that because it was so unique.
It does. It looks so classy. I love it. I loved it in pictures. That's really cool that they are doing that. I'm going to see if I can bring it up here for the audience if they don't know what this is, which, let's see, I'm going to bring it up right now. I'm just going to share my screen here, show a picture of it for those that it's on your website. And then right before I do that, you also talked about salon lighting. Like, so the salon efficiency and salon lighting. So I'll just give you guys my information on it for you're not tripping on cords. That is the thing I think out of everything saved us and why we liked it so much. Because normally whenever you're blow drying, of course, your cords are here and then somehow they tangle up within, your smoothing irons and your flat iron, your curling irons or whatever. And then sometimes you're moving your client and it's just a nightmare. I hated cords. So you had solved that problem. Can you talk about the lighting while I bring this up?
Sure. The lighting almost started in San Diego for that first salon because when I did that, I made these light platforms that went above each station to put the freestyle in. It was just a natural kind of mating of the two things. It was a good thing to have, and this stuff, and they were just all asking me what kind of light bulbs to put in and that sort of thing. And that was back in the days when they didn't have LED lights at all. It was all incandescent halogen lights, and so I started to develop an LED light back in 2007, and in 2008 it's kind of like ready for release. And what happened is Extreme Makeover Home Edition,
Oh
they
yeah.
contacted me and they were interested in putting the freestyle in because they were doing a house in Maynard, which is like 10 miles away from us, and they wanted to put the freestyle in, and I told them, Ty that we had a new LED light that was strictly for salons to show true hair color, and he got all excited and he said that he said he wanted to do it, and I said that's great, but I hadn't even had my prototype in yet. I just done all the engineering for it, and the parts were being put together in Asia, and they were being sent over, and it was a big friggin' thing with a big company here, Arrow, and so the engineers and stuff were all working on this. Anyways, to make a long story short, again, Ty contacted us and said we want it installed on Monday, and I hadn't even had my prototype yet.
Oh my.
And this is like, in other words, it's like a week away. So I contacted the engineers at Arrow and I told them I need this stuff by Thursday at the latest because I still had to build the light platform. And when I did this, they said, "Well, we don't even know where it is, in transit." But it turned out that it came in on Wednesday, and they had to do some changes to it, to the board, a PC board, and it got to me on Thursday, and I was able to build a light platform, install everything on Monday. And so that was like, it was kind of like a lot of miracles happening to make that thing happen. But that was the first LED lights in the industry. As a matter of fact, you couldn't even buy LED lights back then other than like a flashlight. And so ever since then, I did a lot of development on lights, and we fine-tuned the whole process of lights and that sort of stuff. We have a lot of different types of LED lights now that reduce shadows, but the most important part is having the right amount of light on the client's hair. And it should be, this is kind of technical, but it should be about 1,000 to 1,500 lux, which is the amount of light at the hair, not somewhere else. So anyways, all of our stuff is designed to do that. Some of it, sometimes you go like anywhere between 1,000 and 2,500 is acceptable, but once you go over like 3,000 lux, it's almost too much light.
Okay.
But anything at 500 or less, it's not enough light. I mean, you can see because most office buildings, in regular office, it's all about 500 lux, which is the amount of light in the room. And so you can see okay to read and this sort of thing. But as soon as you get to 1,000, all of a sudden it's really easy on the eyes. I had a lady in here from the government back in 2008 when I was first developing this, and I had her in my office here, and she said I was showing her the difference with the incandescent with the LED light, flipping them back and forth. So she's got a piece of paper in front of her, and I have the incandescent on, and then I flip the LED light on. She says, "Oh my God, I can read it." And what it was is on the piece of paper, I was just using an example, there was fine print on it. And she said she had an eye operation, and with the incandescent light, she wasn't able, it was too blurry for her to read. But with the LED light, with that amount of light, all of a sudden it was clear. And I hadn't even thought about that back then, but it's the right type of light when you're cutting hair is really important because you're looking at the hair follicles and you're trying to relax your eyes. You don't want to strain. So that's kind of the development of the LED light for this industry.
The one that I had obviously didn't have the lights on because I bought it, I think before we had all of our lights and stuff already installed. But if I would ever get them again, I definitely want to get the ones with the lights. So I'm going to show these, and then I have a question after that because I'm going to share my screen here a moment. Maybe I have to share my screen before I bring it over. 1 second. Okay, can you see my screen on there? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go over to, you had something playing here. Oh my God.
Go on the gallery. That's the easiest one.
Okay.
Up and top in the gallery pictures.
Okay. This one?
Yeah. And then up in the, see there's a blue bar up top there?
Okay.
Click on light platforms. Right in the middle. Yeah.
So let's just look at this one for a minute. Look how cool this is, guys. Like, this is fabulous. So not only is your salon team going to appreciate working in a place like this, but look how fancy and fun and bright that is. I absolutely love this. Where's this salon at? Do you know?
Yeah, that's Salon J. Lee, and they're in the Villages in Florida.
That's
And
gorgeous.
if you'll notice too, if you look at the floor, there's no cords in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as the dryer kind of cord is taken care of coming from above, it's easy to put away your flat irons and clippers in the drawer and pull them out when you need them. Because dryers you use every time. Now this salon is unique in that they've got 3 different locations now. Every time they build a new location, they always put the freestyle in because it's one of those things. Once you start using it, you realize how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so they really love it.
You had one too that had like a big square light on that. That looked pretty awesome too. That showed a lot of light, huh?
Go up to the top, I think.
Okay.
Let's see. Salon Studio A Salon and Spa.
This one?
Yeah, that's got a LP14 light.
Okay. Yeah, that's really nice too.
Yeah, and you'll notice with those lights, it's a square, so the light comes out evenly. And what's good about that is you don't have all these shadows being cast. It blends everything in while you're working.
Right.
In other words, it's an even light going across.
Very cool.
And now the thing to know is when you're doing lighting is like we'll help people design their floor plans and that sort of thing, because it's important to have the right amount of light at the cutting stations and then the ambient light for the rest of the salon. But a key, if you guys don't use our lights, the key is 3,500 Kelvin light, and that's a color temperature. It's like we all grew up with the screw-in light bulbs,
Mhm.
incandescent lights, and those are all 2,700 Kelvin. And the reason that people had a huge problem with underneath those lights is because there's a lot of infrared that comes out of them, and it would project on like a reddish glow. That's why you always would have to take your clients outside to show them that their hair color really look like.
Mhm.
And so we've eliminated that problem altogether. Um, the other thing to remember is for your face, you always want 3,000 Kelvin is the best Kelvin for your face. And the reason is the it's kind of gives like it doesn't gray out anything. It's like an artificial tan kind of. It's like painting a picture. So when you're looking at if you got 3,000 Kelvin lights here and then 3,500 Kelvin lights here, when the client's looking in the mirror, their complexion looks really good and they're bathed with 3,500 Kelvin light so they can see the actual color of their hair.
That's fabulous. Wonderful. I know we're going to wrap up here in a moment, but so just to clarify, the hanging blow dryer system is called Freestyles. They can contact you. We can put your website here in the link. And then do you guys have Facebook, Instagram, anything like that you want us to share in the link?
Yeah, we have Instagram. It would be freestyle.systems is our Instagram account.
Okay. So you guys can go in and look at different photos and find the different prices and lights. Like you can have a consultation with them to find out what they need because it's different whether you have a drop ceiling or if you don't have a drop ceiling and what the measurements would need to be in that particular salon. And then you can work with them, right? And to help them get this. So I highly recommend it. And I know other people that I know that use it love it too. And I can't say enough about it. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, I love your product. I love your product because it works so good. Like it works so good. I put one in my house because I love it. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Blair. And we'll post this. If you guys are watching this on YouTube at a later time, obviously you can still contact him. I'm going to share one more thing that I forgot about real quick. Let's see. I might not be able to because I think it moved off of here. That's all right. I have way too many things open on two computers a second. So if you're new to salontraining.com, I'm going to just show you real briefly. And Blair, maybe we can get yours on here too under products. So if you guys are looking for trainers, obviously you can go right up to here, type in what trainer you're looking for, whether it's an educator on hair cutting, business, hair color, that kind of stuff. If you're looking for education, we are going to be filming these up really a lot here soon. I've been talking to a lot of trainers and they have a lot of classes for 2024. So give us about a month and I swear that this will be full. So you can look for in-person classes, virtual classes, and really, really soon, I'd say another week, you're going to see pre-recorded classes on here. There's also jobs, shows, and products. So let's talk about products real briefly and then we're going to wrap it up. So if you're looking for something, just say Ivan Zoot, he has some really cool products on here for clipper cutting and men's cutting. I know my friends and people that were at the show and different things, they love Two Wands apparel. This blow dryer is absolutely incredible. There's scissor boots, there's shirts, there's all kinds of stuff, round brushes. And once you open it up, you can go right to their link. And if you're a product company listening to this, we don't charge you to be on here for the fact that we want to help stylists find products that they're going to love. Oh, here's one really quickly. So 7 Bravo, I talk about this one all the time too. This is one of my fabulous favorite products for hair color. These foil boxes, I'm glad he got them on here. I didn't even know that they were on here today. So someone else published it for me, but you can go right to the product link. You can find their Facebook and Instagram. So Blair, maybe later today, we
Yeah.
can talk about this and get your stuff on there too. And then our members and stuff can see your product. All right, I'm gonna stop share here. All right, thanks everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know that's coming up in a couple days if you're watching this live. All right,
Hey, thanks, Tracy.
hey, thanks. See ya. Bye.
Okay, bye.